a world where intros exist.
In a world where intros were hard to find.
One intro rose above the rest.
Two men. One intro.
In a world of many podcasts, one strived to become better than the rest.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Up Relay podcast. Wow, that was funny, eh?
Woo! You fucked up, man.
Every time.
I didn't fuck up.
No, you didn't.
I thought you were gonna restart.
No.
Oh, we're sticking. Okay.
This week we're on episode 18. Let's just run down a couple of things we're going to talk about in the podcast. We're going with it, boys. Doing a little bit different this week, but as usual, we're going to do our last scenes. Last movie we saw. This week we're reviewing Beasts of No Nation, starring Idris Elba. But in honor of Halloween, we're going to talk about either one of our most underrated Halloween / horror movies that we want to talk about, or one of our guilty pleasure horror movies. So we're going to get into that after our review of the week. And I think let's actually, before I get into that, timestamps. If you guys want to skip to any of the topics, any of the movies we're going to talk about, check in the description box below. You can skip ahead with any of the timestamps there. I think we'll get into our last scene. Anyone want to start us off? The last movie they saw? Anyone? Tim, you want to do the honors?
Tim, I really want to know what yours is.
Hey, you didn't say hi to us.
No, hold on. You know what?
Really rude things.
I want to say Scott first.
Yeah.
With us as usual is Tyler Swigalski,
How you doing, guys?
Adam Franey,
The
Scott Ellis,
Hey guys!
and myself, Tim McGavick.
That was good.
good
Go ahead,
job, Tim.
I really, really want to know what your
My last scene.
last
A
scene
nutless
is.
monkey could host this show.
Then let's get into it. My last scene, I teased it by saying it's a 1950s movie.
Yes.
Was that a lie? Was it a smokescreen?
No, that's truth.
That's the truth.
Franey was like, "Oh, did you dip into some Hitchcock? Because I think that's the only 50s director you know." And I was like, "Yes,
Correct.
I did."
That would be correct, yes.
So I watched.
I also guessed that, by the way.
You did too. I watched the 1951 Strangers on a Train,
Ooh.
which is written by Raymond Chandler and Senzi Ormond, directed by Alfred Hitchcock,
Knew it.
starring Farley Granger, who was in Rope. If you guys have seen Rope, he's one of the
Yeah,
guys, one of the roommates that kills someone.
Really?
And Robert Walker.
Do a spoiler.
Robert Walker unfortunately died a few months after filming of Strangers on a Train, which is sad because he was awesome in this movie. Basically, the plot is a psychotic socialite, played by Robert Walker, confronts a pro tennis star, played by Farley Granger, with a theory on how two complete strangers can get away with a murder by committing each other's murder. A theory that he plans to follow through with.
Legendary idea for a movie. That's like
Really
amazing.
good idea.
That's
Run
amazing.
that by me one more time.
So these two guys meet on a train,
Okay.
and Robert Walker is kind of like a psychotic kind of dude.
Okay.
And he confronts the pro tennis star and he has this theory about how someone can get away with murder by committing each other's murders, so that way there's no motive.
There'd be no motive.
There'd be
at
no
all.
motive. You just meet a stranger and be like, hey, you have someone that you need to get rid of. I have someone that I need to get rid of. You kill this person for me, I'll kill this person for you. No motive. Because it's just complete
And
strangers,
it's
right?
like untraceable.
Yeah. So this has great first two acts. The first two acts are really, really good. Kind of becomes kind of muddled and dull in the third. There's a big tennis interlude that takes a while.
What?
Which it was weird. It was a weird scene. It didn't have to happen.
Sounds like
The
it.
standout in this is Robert Walker. He was freaking good. He was creepy and charming at the same time. He was really, really good. I loved him.
I've never heard of him.
He didn't do much before he died, unfortunately. So it would have been great
why.
to see this. The other thing is the actual meeting on the train wasn't long enough for me. It's literally the first 9 minutes of the movie. I think if this was made today, which was rumored a few years ago, David Fincher was attached to do a remake of it.
Yeah, he was.
A few years ago.
Oh.
If they did an actual 30-minute escalating just full dialogue scene between two people on a train, that'd be fantastic. Where you start really charming, it seems like this guy's really nice, and then slowly just see more and more creepiness coming out until he finally comes up with this plan. He's like, we should do each other's
I
murders.
feel like Fincher doing this.
Yeah,
That sounds
would
like an
be-
amazing idea.
I know.
Amazing.
I'm so.
I'm in.
That was this
Fincher,
year,
what happened?
by the way. That was January. Just hit the memory banks now.
that rumor came out that he was
Yeah.
supposed to do a remake of it.
in January.
Yeah.
With Ben Affleck and the writer of Gone Girl, Gillian Anderson.
Ooh, that'd be
Or
sweet.
Gillian Flynn.
Gillian Flynn, yeah.
I can see Affleck playing like the tennis star type guy. Probably wouldn't
Really?
be like a tennis star these days. Would probably be like something else, but
Hockey star or
something like that. Like
some
someone who's like high profile.
businessman or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So
Like Bruce Wayne or something.
overall,
like
because the third act is not the best, I'm going to go with a heavy 3. But there are some pretty cool shots in this movie too. That's
Hitchcock,
classic Hitchcock.
yeah.
There's one shot where like it's actually
Really?
the camera's like on the front of the train, like following the track. That's pretty
Sounds
cool.
sick.
Pretty cool. It was short. It was only like a 10-second shot, but it was like, this is pretty sweet, especially for like 1951. It's like solid.
Sim-
So were you hitched?
I was hitched.
Hitchcock.
I was gonna say something else.
And we
But
all wanted to make that joke, but we didn't.
I was gonna follow that up with something.
it's a train and a Hitchcock
Yeah,
pun.
yeah.
I can't.
No,
Possibly.
no.
No, I see it.
All right.
All right. So that's mine.
So
Strangers on a Train, 1951.
Wow, going
Get
classic.
hype. Get hype.
Anyone else want to jump in with their last
Heavy
scene then?
3.
Heavy three
Reels.
Reels. Okay.
Oh,
We do
reels.
We do reels here?
Heavy
That's right.
reels here.
Oh.
We do reels.
Not stars. Get wrecked.
I'll jump in with my last scene.
It's a bit unorthodox, but
It is.
Well, Scott, you're the boss, I guess.
This movie came out October 24th, 2008. It's a Swedish film.
oh yes, he saw it.
What?
I think you know what it is.
Adam knows what this is. Hoyt van Hoytma.
Oh,
Shot
cinematography
it?
by Hoyt van Hoytma. So the film goes a little something like this. It's the story of a bullied 12-year-old boy who develops a friendship with a vampire child in Blackenberg, a suburb in Stockholm, in the early 1980s.
still have
This
no
is, of
idea
course,
what
Let the Right One In, directed by Thomas Alfredson, who also did Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Good.
After this, starring Carrie Hedebrandt, Lina Leandersson, and Per Ragnar. Like I said, this is all in Swedish. I love this movie. This is a great movie. I also watched Let Me In this week,
Wow.
It's pretty solid too, right?
which is a remake
What'd you think
Done
of that one?
a little bit
Quickly.
differently.
Yeah.
Some of the roles are switched or done differently.
Yeah.
Like I know in Let the Right One In, there's like a neighbor, which in Let Me In was like a police officer. Like switched it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then some of the order of some things were done differently. But overall, they're both great movies. But
I love Richard Jenkins in Let
Yeah.
Me In, the American remake,
yeah.
playing like the uncle,
too.
or I guess he's referred to as like the uncle character.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And the remake, if you guys don't know, was starring Cody Smith McPhee and Chloe Grace Moretz
Yeah.
as the kid and then the vampire, which is like right after when Chloe Grace Moretz did Kick-Ass, but before it came out was when they filmed it. So like I think the director of the remake, Let Me In, like heard that she was really good in Kick-Ass and then cast her in this. So this was like
Okay.
before she was like big or anything.
I could see that, yeah.
So yeah, I want to talk about Let the Right One In though, the original. Like I said, fantastically shot by Hoyt van Hoytma. The cinematography was great, like in Sweden with all the snow and everything, and the shots with like the trees.
Gorgeous, right?
And I would say this is a horror movie. It's not really a horror. It's done in a little bit different way. I mean, there's horror elements to it, but it's more of like a coming of age, like
Yeah. I agree
for
with
the
that.
kid.
Yeah, the
like,
horror's like a background to it.
yeah.
It's the best way to say it, horror elements.
When there is horror in it, it was like done pretty well. Although there was some there's a sequence, if you guys know, with like cats, which like really took me out of it. Do you guys remember that? You
It's
guys know
been a
what I'm
while for me. I don't quite remember.
Well,
Well, I just want to say for the listeners, me and Tim have been telling Scott to watch this movie for a while because we knew he'd love it.
yeah.
Ty, get on
I
it.
was saying, should I see this movie? Am I gonna like it?
Get on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should like it. It's great.
I do like Sweden.
Yeah, or just if you don't want to listen to watch subtitles.
I don't mind subtitles.
It's the cinematographer of Spectre,
I'm in.
Hoyt van Hoytma.
Yeah.
Wait, it's
There you
fun to
go.
say.
Get
Tie
on it,
into
buddy.
next week.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Spectre's coming.
Yeah, overall the acting was good. I like the child actors. The girl
Right.
who played Ely, the vampire girl, like she was like great in it.
She was haunting, I feel like. Like a haunting performance.
Yeah.
Just like mesmerized. I was like mesmerized by her.
Mhm. and the kid was good. That haircut, oh my god, it was atrocious. Whenever I saw it, I was like, wow, he had like a bowl cut.
Yeah.
It was like so bad.
It was rough.
He was set in the 80s, so like, okay.
I was gonna say, it's a period piece.
Yeah,
right?
I had like a haircut, like pretty rough like that when I was a little kid. So like, I felt for him, you know.
You could relate.
Yeah, and he like getting bullied by other kids. I'm like, yeah, with that haircut, it's gonna happen.
Did you have like a girlfriend that killed for you and stuff?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
So you can't relate.
Question for you.
Yeah.
You might bring this up, but without spoiling anything, how well shot is that climax?
In the pool?
Yeah.
The pool scene was amazing.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like,
Yeah.
and I kind of saw it coming with the hand on his head.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
It makes
like,
sense, but like,
oh, this is something's gonna happen here.
oh yeah.
And the way it was shot was like fantastic, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
did it pretty much the same.
I
And
think
let me in.
I think they had to do it the same for the remake because there's no way you could top that scene. So I think it's pretty much the
like-
same thing.
Why wouldn't you? They're
Yeah.
like, we have this gold scene. We might
Yeah.
as well just copy it.
Yeah.
There's the one thing that they tried to like one up was the scene where I won't really spoil it, but let's just say there's a hospital window.
Yeah.
Something happens. They started off with that scene in the remake, and I was like, whoa! Like that was like a big moment in the original, and then they just boom started off with that in the remake, and I thought that was interesting way to like start off
Yeah.
differently, and it was a good choice because it's tough to follow up. How do you follow up? Let the right one in. But the thing is, no one in like English speaking area like would have seen like Let the Right One In. Like, why would you? It's in like a Swedish movie. Like, I understand why they wanted to do it
For us, like
for like an English speaking audience.
cinephiles have seen it,
Right.
But like general public has no idea.
They wouldn't have seen it. So, I mean, this movie has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Can you believe that?
Whoa!
Yeah, 98.
Underrated.
Not underrated at all. Overall, for me, this is
Not even a hundo.
this is 4.5 heavy reels. Heavy reels for me.
4 heavy reels.
Yeah, four heavy reels.
4 heavy reels.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm not a huge horror fan, so to see a movie like this done like as a really like artsy like movie, like
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
Ties into Halloween. Good job.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's it for me. Ty, you want to jump in?
I
into
will
the
jump
last
in
scene?
here. I will
Here we go.
raise your 98% on Rotten Tomatoes
Oh!
with a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god!
What?
So my last scene,
It's
I'll,
getting hot in here.
I'll read you a synopsis here.
Oh god.
It's a movie that I've been wanting to watch for a while. It's
No, I'm not.
Can I take a guess?
you want to take a guess?
Not Last Witch Hunter.
No.
Okay,
No,
thank God. All right, continue.
no, but probably very similar in Rotten Tomatoes score
Probably,
though.
yes.
Medical researcher Frank, his fiancée Zoe, and their team have achieved the impossible. They have found a way to revive the dead. After a successful but unsanctioned experiment on a lifeless animal, they are ready to make their work public. However, when their dean learns what they've done, she shuts them down. Zoe is killed during an attempt to recreate the experiment.
Whoa, spoiler.
That's no.
Continue.
She's killed in an attempt to recreate the experiment, leading Frank to test the process on Zoe. She is revived, but something evil is within her.
This is Olivia Wilde, right?
Yeah, this
the
is
fuck
the
is this?
Lazarus Effect.
Oh yeah, I can't believe he
this
used this movie.
movie.
Yeah,
That's
Donald Glover?
greasy.
Donald Glover.
Right. That
hold
is
on.
a greasy last scene, my friend.
Let's
You've
see.
upped yourself yet again.
Olivia Wilde, Mark Duplass. I'm not sure how you
don't know
pronounce
who
his
that
last
is,
name.
sir.
Evan Peters, Donald Glover,
Evan Peters.
and Sarah Bulger.
Okay.
So-
Quicksilver himself.
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah, not so speedy in this movie.
So what do you think of the Lazarus Effect?
I thought it was very good. You know, Frankie, I think you'd appreciate a certain aspect of this movie. They didn't over-explain everything. They left.
I love that.
Yeah, they left a lot open to interpretation
Half-assed, though.
and imagination. Yeah.
Now, did it feel like they had the answer and they didn't want to beat you over the head with exposition, or was it a cop out because you felt like it was poorly written?
No, I think that it was actually very well written.
Yeah.
Like at least like the science behind it. Because they tried to make it as realistic as possible.
Scott's losing
And
it.
Scott,
He can't even-
you're just sitting there
I
giggling.
don't know. I saw the trailer for this movie and it just looked atrocious. They
Okay.
gave everything away in the trailer.
I didn't
Like,
think it
I'll
looked
give you this. It was
atrocious.
somewhat
Certain-
predictable. I'll give you that. It was.
they showed certain people dying in the trailer. I'm like, what?
Well, you kind of had to
Is that
expect that. Yeah.
not the main, not the when I said it was a spoiler earlier, but other characters.
Yeah, there were
They
characters
showed them
like
dying. I'm like,
you kind of had to expect people were going to die. Like,
no, but
like
you don't
you-
have to
it's
show
a
it in the
horror movie
trailer.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, There's no suspense then.
I gotta say, Olivia Wilde is my number one celebrity crush. She's
really.
I knew the second you started, I'm like, he watched it because of Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, I love her. It was really weird seeing her in a horror role though. It was like it was kind of hard to take in at first, but I think she pulled off the creepy role. Like after I adjusted to it, she pulled it off really well.
So she's like a reanimated.
Kind of, yeah. But it kind of reanimates you in a really like deep, twisted, dark way. It's kind of cool. But back to being predictable. They kind of rolled all of like some of the classic horror cliches like into one. Like where every time you saw something about to happen, it was just like, okay, I've seen that before. But you know what? I might be biased a little bit, but I enjoyed it. A little slow to start, but I enjoyed it.
All right.
What are you gonna hit it with for reels?
Reels wise, I'm gonna give it a heavy 3 reels.
Heavy 3 reels.
Yeah.
Heavy
so
3.
I don't like a lot of horror movies just because, well, they scare me.
yes.
So
That's fair. That's okay.
So-
That's why I don't like you.
Yeah,
Same
that's-
reason. You scare me.
that's fair. So IMDb gave it a 5.2. I gave it Rotten Tomatoes 14. I gave it a heavy 3.
Can you? I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you try to Can you see why the critics What's your feelings on the critics?
It was all to me. It all came down to the predictability. It was just
You think
like
that's why they
Cliche.
hated
It's been
it?
done before.
yeah.
Okay, I could totally.
It was
like,
it was a
see
different
that.
storyline. Like the reanimation, like they actually had a science behind it, which was kind of cool. Like I know, like
Really?
they
That's
do
cool.
they do that a lot. Like they do like the
There's
Resident
like a
Evil movies,
legitimate
stuff like that.
explanation behind it?
Yeah, and so they actually explained like in like what was going on, like how she was turned. Like they explained like what was going on with her brain. It was kind of cool because they actually looked at it from like a medical point of view, which was really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I know you're into that like weird shit. So,
I really am into some pretty weird shit.
Yeah, I
So
guess it makes sense.
Tim looks like he's busting to say something.
The
What
average
do you
rating for critics from Rotten Tomatoes on this is a whopping 3.8 out of 10.
Oh, shite. Well,
That's
hey.
pretty close. I
Why
mean,
couldn't you
said
just
heavy
let
3.
me
You said
live
heavy
in
3.
blissful ignorance?
That's
3.8.
I mean, that's out of 10. I mean, we're only out of 4 here, but
Yeah.
or out of 5.
I
Sorry.
think we're at
Yeah.
5.
Sorry.
Interesting. Cool.
But
Thank you, Tim.
So
Thank
you're
you for
right
that.
in line with the critics. You both
Yes.
give it a heavy 3.
Yeah, I thought.
I can't wait to see what your guilty pleasure is for horror.
I know. What this is.
As soon as I saw that,
I felt
I
like
was
as close
like,
it gets.
these are both like I could switch them if I want to. They're both guilty pleasures.
I was gonna say this isn't your guilty
It
pleasure.
meets the criteria for my guilty pleasure.
totally
More than
does.
meets our criteria.
More than needs.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Well, moving on. Adam,
Moving
open
right
up the
along.
memory banks. Let's hear what the last movie you saw was. Hopefully,
Hey,
not the shit on you.
leave Olivia Wilde out of this, okay?
All right, sorry,
It's
Olivia.
a little
I didn't
higher
mean
than.
it. I really liked you in Tron Legacy.
Oh god.
That's a guilty pleasure for me.
We
but
know,
continue,
Scott.
Continue. Sorry, I had to plug.
If
that.
we have guilty pleasure sci-fi one day, we will get. To
You and
Oh,
I
I
are
can
gonna
have a
watch
whole
it
bunch of
together.
them on my list.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Adam, let's move over to you.
City of God.
Oh,
I saw this movie.
Oh, I've never heard
Really?
of it.
Nice.
2002,
Glad you
written
knocked that
by
out.
Braulio Mantovani. Yep, I said that. Directed by
Trusted.
Fernando Merele. Also on IMDb stated a co-directing credit for Kataya Lund, but only Fernando was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Director.
Correct.
So I'm not sure what's going on there. But starring Sue Jorge as Knockout Ned.
Not good, Ned. Okay.
Best name ever.
This is gonna be tough. Alejandre Rodriguez as Rocket. Leandro Firmino as Lil Zay. Doug Silva as Lil Dice.
Little dice.
Alice Braga as Angelica, who's actually in Elysium. I instantly recognized her.
Yes.
Shocking. And Jonathan Hagginson as Shaggy. The vague...
Wasn't sorry, just
Yeah.
Little Z eventually became Little Dice. It was like the same person, right?
Yes. Yes.
Different.
Lil Z is...
different actors, but
Sorry, Lil Dice is the young version.
right.
Lil
Sorry,
Z
Little
is
Dice.
when he
Right.
grows up
Sorry, my mistake.
to become the villain of the film.
Yes.
Two boys growing up in a violent neighborhood of Rio de Janeiro take different paths, one becoming a photographer, the other a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
I
What'd you think of
loved this
You liked
movie
it?
a lot.
Attaboy.
It's
Really?
fucking fantastic.
It is.
I don't remember Tim and Scott, like, if you guys love it, or...
Yeah,
I love this movie.
4.5.
Yeah.
for me.
Okay, you did. Okay, good, because
Loved
we
it.
never talked about it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Ty,
It's a very heavy force.
Add it to the
scribble it
list.
on the
please.
list.
Here we go.
buddy. Just a great gangster epic.
Yeah.
For me, this is like
Epic defines it.
right.
The scale of it, because it's like
So you agree?
journeys from like when they're like little kids to like grown up, right?
Yeah.
From the
I'm fired up.
slums, and then the same slums become like city, and it's like I didn't even realize that at first. It's like the same area, but
Exactly.
just over the years becomes
I never even thought of that. That's crazy.
right. Like that's
Yeah, so I feel it's almost underrated. I never see it on top 10 gangster film lists. Like, this is up there for me.
foreign. Like it won. Did it win anything in the Oscars? Like, was it
Well,
nominated for best foreign feature? Or
I have a specific thing to say about that. Not even nominated for best foreign picture. It's the Lego movie of foreign pictures.
that's
Was
mess.
not 2004 Academy Awards is when it would have been eligible.
Wow.
Oh,
But he was
and
up for Best Director. That's so weird.
I was just gonna say the weird part is
Was it up
And
for
Best Rating.
up for best original screenplay and best director, but not even nominated
And
for
editing.
best foreign.
And cinematography. But not up for Best.
What?
That is so bizarre.
Like,
That's a snub. If
are
I've
you
ever
fucking
seen
kidding
Do
me?
we know what beat it?
Movies I've
Well,
never
like
heard of.
everything else that was nominated, I guess.
I hadn't heard of any of the nominees.
That's just wild.
I think it could have been up for best picture.
Seriously, yeah.
I fucking loved it. Yeah, so just like you said, an epic sprawling story. It was like a
Hell
coming
yeah.
of age. It relates, spoiler alert, it relates to Beast of No Nation in that it's like coming of age tale through the slums.
And like seeing
child
violence
soldiers.
like through
Yeah.
a child's eyes.
Exactly. It was like a kid's perspective and dual paths of someone who took the gangster route and got caught up in that scene.
Yeah.
And then you have the good, more innocent kid.
Grew up in the exact same area.
Exact same area, but decides to put his interest into photography
Yeah.
instead of just going the
And-
easy gang route.
And how crazy is, you probably were going to mention this, but most of the actors weren't actors before this. They're like unknown kids, literally from the slums.
Okay, see, I didn't know that, but I was getting that feeling.
Like
when I
Lil
was
Z,
watching it.
Lil Z or whatever, like
The kid version?
straight up, no,
Lil
the
Z.
older version. Like, how good was he? Literally done nothing, like picked off the street.
No.
How crazy is that?
So he's like the Arkbad Abdi,
Barkad Abdi, yeah.
whatever, yeah, Barkad Abdi.
Like a lot of the,
Except better.
yeah, a lot of the actors in this movie were like straight off the street.
Are you
The
kidding
the
me?
girl,
Wow.
there's like only
I
a
had no
couple.
idea.
There's a couple that weren't. There's like, man, you know that white drug dealer? He's like, there was most of them were
Yeah,
like,
long hair.
yeah, no, was he? Did he have long
He
hair?
had long red hair. No.
Well, there's like a ginger kid, but not him.
Oh, you're talking the arms dealer character?
He's like competing with like Lil Z in the end.
Carrot?
No, not Carrot. Maybe it was
Okay.
Carrot. Maybe it was Carrot.
Whatever.
Anyways, like he's a real actor,
Uh-huh.
a Brazilian actor, and then the girl, who was
Elysium?
also in Elysium, she's also an actress.
And
But
it.
that's like literally it. Like, there's not a whole lot of other
Makes sense.
trained
'Cause
actors.
I'm like, I've never seen this cast in anything after. And then you mentioned Lil Z. He was amazing.
I know.
Maybe I'd have to see the nominees, but maybe Academy Award nomination worthy.
Yeah.
Like he made you hate him. Grows up to be like the villain in the city and kind of he has this rivalry with Knockout Ned.
Yeah.
And the story builds to where it comes to a boiling point and they basically start a war against each
gang
other
war.
without
Knockout Ned
giving
was
anything
great.
away. He was great.
Rocket
But
was great.
Lil Z was like unreal, like so charismatic, kind of like in the villain way, where you
Yeah.
like want to kill him.
Yeah, you
and
just
you hate
hate-
his guts.
Just, you're like, dude, this guy's got to go. Like,
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Scorsese too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he produced it or something or brought it over to America. I don't think he did,
No, he
but
didn't.
it seems like the type of thing he would.
yeah.
Because like
Profiling, like,
I just had a lot of nods to him, like a lot of the quick smash cuts of like guns being loaded and everything, and then the freeze frames. It's just a lot of like Scorsese vibes, and
sounds almost like Edgar Wright.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Edgar Wright.
Smash cut. Whenever you say smash cut, I just think Edgar
Yeah.
Wright.
Yeah. I call them Edgar Wright cuts. That's like,
Fair enough.
yeah.
And I can totally see why it was up for Best Director and Best Cinematography. One of the most interesting visual movies I've ever seen, just in terms of how it was shot. Like, I almost have a laundry list of all the cool shots from the bullet cam. I don't know if you remember. There's a scene where a bullet gets fired, and like it's as if they mounted a camera on a bullet.
Yeah.
And it's just following the bullet, like ricocheting off things.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was insane. And one shot of Rocket, someone else, I think it was his friend, hiding in a tree with like a militia walking under them with machine guns.
Yeah.
And it zooms in on like a tear or a raindrop
Water droplet.
just slowly coming off a leaf. And the way it's edited, it's like flashing between that and like a ocean with fish. And it's almost like the teardrop or the raindrop like fades into one of the fish. It was just amazing, like visual stuff like that. Yeah, for like a whole unknown crew, it's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm surprised you didn't realize that. So that changes your perspective a lot on it. Like,
yes, like I don't know how they got so like lucky, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
And it's definitely brutal. Like a lot of there's child death. It shares that
people
with
get gunned down at a pretty rapid pace in this movie.
Exactly, but no, overall, absolutely loved it. I'm going to the heavy 4 reels for City of God. I'm kind of pissed it even took me this long to see it. Yeah, stay tuned for my top 10 gangster films of all time. This is going to be sneaking up there.
Wow, so that's why you watched this? Because you want to make a gangster list?
Yep.
Top 10 gangster?
That's correct.
All right, fair enough. I think with that, if we covered all of our last scenes, we can move into our review of the week, and that is Beasts of No Nation, directed by Cary Fukunaga, who also did the cinematography. He didn't do any of the music or anything like that, and also he didn't edit it, but he did a lot. He did a lot of heavy lifting on this movie. This movie was released, if I remember correctly, October 16th of this year, and also released, if I also remember correctly, on Netflix the same day. Yeah, let's get into it. Starring Idris.
It wasn't Netflix exclusive.
It wasn't exclusive. It got released in the theaters as well.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time that Netflix. Well, this is like the first movie they produced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first Netflix original movie.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Is,
I will say, I'm looking here at the stats on this. $6 million budget, which is very low for considering what was produced out of it. Mm-hmm. It's only made $86,000 on the box office.
Yikes.
Which is pretty rough. But also, I'm not sure how that works with Netflix, because that's not with that at all. So,
well, I read a stat. I think I was telling you guys that as of like a few days ago, 3 million different accounts have streamed this movie. The CEO of Netflix came out and said,
really,
and that's just 3 million different accounts. Like the 4 of us watched this on one account.
Yeah,
right.
So at least 3 million people have seen it. So if you like factor that into box office,
it's kind of hard to figure out exactly how good or bad it's done.
But a lot more than $86,000 worth of people.
Exactly, I know. It just seems so incredibly low. It's not even $1 million. It's like
that's astounding. Yeah,
it's
86,000.
Yeah, if you did like based on like our tickets that we cost in Canada, the movie's made about $38 million.
Wow, so that sounds.
If it was only released in theaters and like 3 million people saw it, it'd be
that seems that makes sense for this kind of movie. Yeah. So, this movie, like I said, starring Idris Elba, Abraham Atta as sort of an unknown new actor to this movie, and it's the story of a young boy who survives as his country goes through a horrific war in Africa. I'm not sure if they actually say what the country was. It was sort of an unnamed country. It was shot in Ghana. But yeah, what do we think of Beasts of No Nation? Seeing
who's going to give their vague opinion first?
Well, I'll give my vague opinion.
Oh shit!
I thought it was crazy.
Idris Elba was great.
He was very good.
Abraham Atta, the young kid unknown, was fantastic.
Loved him. Yeah,
he was really good. It's always tough when you have someone like that you're focusing the whole movie on his experience. Like, how do you pick like just an unknown actor? But they picked him right. I think he nailed it. The cinematography direction was like great. Like Fukunaga just did everything in this movie. He just put his all into it. You can just see that he had full control over cinematography, direction, and everything.
My boy Fuki.
He just went all into it, and overall, I think it was really good. And yeah, I mean, before this, I remember thinking like, wow, when I saw the trailer, is this like Blood Diamond, like the same thing? But
I'd say it's different enough.
Yeah, just with the child soldier thing in Africa, I was like, well, I don't know, like I've kind of seen this, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Okay. Tim, you want to jump in?
Right on par with you on that one.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's different enough from Blood Diamond because it focuses on the child soldier thing. Is there a child soldier storyline in Blood Diamond? Because I've seen a movie that was with child soldier. I think is that one, right?
His kid.
Kid's
well,
kid, right? Okay.
Jimon Hunsun's
That's
son.
what
His
I'm
kid
thinking
becomes
of.
a
Okay.
child soldier.
Yeah, really good.
Come on, bro.
Fukunaga. Couple shots where we can talk about in spoilers
fantastic
are
shots.
full Fukunaga. Loved it.
Like, bang bang gunshots? Or
yeah,
like,
bang bang gunshots.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I meant, Adam.
Yes.
Bang bang.
The kid is great. I would love to see Abraham Atta get an Oscar nom.
Ooh.
But the thing is, you
think
can't
so?
give him best
Awesome.
supporting because he's in it for the whole
a star.
thing,
He's
and
a
he
star.
won't get a lead actor nom, unfortunately.
They should have like
but-
an up and coming like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like best breakthrough performance or
breakthrough,
something,
yeah.
or
Breakthrough.
best
Breakthrough
first time
actor.
performance. That would never happen, but
They should, but
he
they
is
won't.
very, very good. Idris is really, really good too. He's great as always.
fantastic.
Yeah.
His accent was pretty good.
The accent was pretty much dead
Considering
on.
he's
point.
he's British accent,
Yeah.
to pull that off,
Yeah.
he did a pretty good
Like
job
we
with
talked
that.
He's like
about
London,
layers.
full London accent too.
Layers. Yeah.
It was great.
Ty, what do you think of Beast of No Nation?
When we first saw this, like we watched this trailer, like I kind of expected to like it. After watching it, I wasn't impressed.
Really?
I wasn't I'm thinking
By the movie or the trailer?
I'm thinking more story, the actual movie. I wasn't impressed by the movie. I'm saying that like not like shot wise, not directing wise, story wise.
Okay.
Story wise, I wasn't impressed.
So you like the technical aspect?
Yeah,
Like
that
the
I
actual-
enjoyed. I loved it.
Okay.
But the actual story wise, well,
Didn't grab you?
I've got my reasons, which we'll get into for spoilers. But story wise, I was unimpressed.
Interesting. Was this based off a memoir? Or like
Based off a memoir, yes.
So like it's a true story. I mean,
Like a goose? Or just like a random person? Or is like a goo a real character?
I don't know the details, man.
Tim, you were there.
It's based
Tim,
off a
you were
memoir
there, right?
of a guy. I think it's a memoir or a book. He's written something that's also based on unnamed. So I think it's just like it's not like a true quote unquote account, but I think it's like these types of things and themes happen quite a bit, and this is just a way of like making people aware of it.
yeah. I mean, I there's a couple
It's
things.
kind of like the Book of Negroes. If you guys have read that book, like that's not like a true story, but it takes like a lot of like accounts
that
of things
did
that have
happen, yeah.
happened.
Isn't there like a TV miniseries of it?
It's probably
that was on?
horrible.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it looked
atrocious.
terrible. The book's
yeah.
pretty good though.
But I'm saying I've seen. Like, I've
But
read
yeah, it's that
and,
idea where like it's not a true story, but it's like it's based around true events that have happened to various people, and they're just like conglomerate them into one thing.
I guess I'll step in.
Yeah.
Give my vague thoughts. Excuse me.
wow.
Wow.
Really, that's what you thought?
That was
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
What
So
language
that's what
was
I
that?
thought of Beast of No Nation. Sums it up. It's a real sneeze. I loved it. I thought it was great, actually. I thought Idris Elba was fantastic, as always. He had quite the hairdo going.
Yeah,
The
hairdo.
receding hairline
nasty
leading into the
haircut.
fro at the back.
Yeah.
Hideous.
Doesn't look good.
Agu was amazing. I'm right there with you guys. I think I'm assuming this is his first performance.
Yeah.
Do we know? Yeah. Amazing. I'm a huge Cary Fukunaga fan.
True Detective. He
Yeah,
did.
I love
For
True
the
Detective
viewers out
season
there.
1. He directed all 8 episodes.
That episode 4.
Tracking
For those who
shot.
don't know, he does a 7-minute tracking shot in episode 4 of True Detective.
I think
and
it's my favorite scene in
it's probably
TV
one of the
history.
It's one of the best shot scenes I've seen. Period.
Yeah,
TV
in
or
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
For sure,
you're right.
TV movie is probably one of the best shots I've seen. It's incredible.
I actually watched
I've
his.
seen the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. But alright.
That's totally different.
Ruthless.
That's good for other
Totally
reasons.
different. That's good for plot. We're talking cinematography.
Yeah, alright. Sorry.
Scott.
Sorry,
Anyways,
We don't care about plot here.
yeah, unless you're Ty.
I totally care about plot.
Yeah, I actually watched Cary Fukunaga's filmography this week, which isn't much.
That's BC, but yeah.
He has 3 movies. Yeah, Sin Nombre and Jane Eyre were his other 2. Fun fact, all 3 of his movies, all different languages. Sin Nombre, a Mexican film, like following Mexican people. They're speaking Spanish. And
Speaking Mexican.
Let's say that.
Yeah, I know.
I was close. They spoke a Mexican dialect. Jane Eyre, like a Victorian
Go back to
Old
Cons, I
English.
believe.
Yeah.
And then this one, they're speaking African.
Yeah. Well, some...
Afrikaans,
Afrikaans.
some sort of
Africano?
something.
No.
Yeah, they're speaking African talk.
Well, it was...
African speak.
Interesting, because Cary Fukunaga, American, and he's done 3 different movies, 3 different languages.
That is interesting.
It's impressive.
Has that ever happened before? I'm just like where does he get?
It's not common. It's uncommon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I love Sin Hombre and Jane Eyre. Just throwing that out there. He's one of my favorite up and coming directors, right there with Denis Villeneuve. And shout out to Denis.
Oh, gotta get the Denis plug in.
Yeah. The rest is non-vague, so I loved it. We can get into some details.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's a couple things I can talk about spoiler-wise when we get there, but because I can kind of to counter some of your arguments.
Okay.
That you were saying about plot, but
I got some non-spoiler.
You got some non-spoiler things you want to mention? I mean,
yeah. So the cinematography, gorgeous. In my opinion, humble opinion.
I think we
especially
all agree.
in that
we all agree.
there's a scene where a character is tripping on acid.
yes,
Put it in the memory
And you
banks,
get a gorgeous he's tripping on acid, and there's everything just kind of goes pinky red, kind of like the opening scene of Star Trek Into Darkness.
I know. I
Yeah.
thought
Those trees,
red leaves,
and it's just running through the jungle. And everything's pink and red. I'm like, oh my god, this looks amazing.
I know.
Yeah, beautiful. Visually stunning.
That happened
scene.
after I briefly fell asleep in this movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
There is one tracking shot where a long take, a one take shot.
Where they're clearing out the building.
Yeah,
I also
that was done really well.
There's a tracking shot inside the trenches as well, which is really cool too.
Yes, where he's wading through the water.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was done really well.
See, and that had shades of True Detective.
Where August walking towards the camera, and then the camera slowly turns as he reaches it, and then follows behind him.
Yeah.
I remember that
It's
shot.
how do they even shoot that?
Yeah, that shot in the trailer. I was like, boom, that's beautiful. That's gonna be amazing in the movie.
Well, they shot that with a brand new actor. Right? He's never done
it's crazy.
He literally has to walk right beside the camera and pretend it's not even there.
Yeah, the kid did.
That's
he
a good
did
point.
great.
That's
He did so good.
yeah.
I just wanted to touch on how brutal some of the moments are in this movie.
Oh, brutal.
When I don't think it's a spoiler. When Agu is forced to do his first kill, it's not a spoiler, really, is it?
No, you figure
I
he's
said
gonna
it
do
now.
You're
it.
a child soldier. You
Yeah.
have to. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
That melon chopping scene.
Oh,
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that was fucked.
Yeah.
Just
Really well done.
right across the forehead.
Yeah.
Yucky.
they showed a lot of it. Yeah.
I like the editing when
Please describe it in one word. Yucky.
it's the only way too. I love the editing when Idris Elba's trying to fire them up and getting them to do that war chant as they're going to battle, and it's juxtaposed with shots of the aftermath of the battle.
Yeah.
Just a sea of corpses, and just the back and forth of that with the chanting in the background. I thought was an awesome way to set up a scene. Tim already said the opiate vision was beautiful.
Yeah, it's probably not acid. It's some other drug, but
Yeah,
it looked
whatever.
They were tripping.
Yeah.
They were tripping balls either way.
Yeah.
I also loved the score in the movie. I noticed when he is forced to cut that guy's head with the machete, the score in that moment was a static, kind of electronic.
A feedback kind of thing?
Yeah, it's
I think I remember
feedback,
it, yeah.
and it just gets that heavy pounding
Deaf kind of.
embrace.
Deafening kind of, yeah.
That got me real fired up. And just I thought some of, I guess, vague spoiler, but some of Agu's dialogue was beautiful, really emotionally touching toward the end. But we'll get to that.
All right, we want to get into some spoiler talk then. If we don't have anything else to say.
No more non-spoiler stuff.
No.
All right, let's get into spoilers then.
We rate this puppy
spoiler
first?
warning. Sorry?
Rate this
Oh
puppy.
yeah, we need ratings. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Wow. Okay. Whew.
We're all hungover here. Sorry.
Wow. What do we want to give Beast of No Nation? I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna give 4 out of 5. 4 to 5 reels for me. Light 4 out of 5. I think I'm gonna go with
Light 4.
light 4 to 5.
Wow. Is that a 3.5 on Letterboxd?
It's 4. It's 4 on Letterboxd.
Fucking better be.
I really enjoyed a lot of aspects of this movie. Yeah. Overall, well done by Cary Fukunaga. Abraham Atta was fantastic, like I said, and Idris Elba. Right now, he's unstoppable for me. So
He's on fire.
He's on fire. Yeah, light 4 to 5.
I'll tell you where he can stop.
Wow.
Get wrecked.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that next week, perhaps.
Spectre, yeah. We have to talk about that on Spectre.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
been teasing it for months.
Major tease. Since the show started, episode 1.
We mentioned it.
Yeah.
Ty's getting fired up. Tim, what do you think of
Light
Beast of No
4 out
Nation?
of 5 for me as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow, shocking, isn't it? Tyler.
Should
What do you got for
to
us?
the end?
I'm gonna.
I mean, you've literally said nothing other than I didn't like the story.
And I can go into details in that.
All right,
Into the
okay,
spoilers,
that's
but
fair.
Yeah, I have some.
It's gonna be a 4 for me, not the light 4, medium 4.
Medium 4.
Reels.
Did you rate this time?
Liked it a lot.
Did you rate Beast of No Nation?
No, we skipped by. I was gonna go last.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go
He's going right now.
a medium 3 reels.
Medium 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Ruthless.
thought you implied that you didn't like it more. Like I thought you were gonna go.
Oh no, I didn't hate it. It was just
okay,
it
okay.
was. We'll get into.
There we
I'll explain
go.
it now. Let's go.
All right, spoilers. Let's get into it. Why?
We're all waiting on bated breath.
It's been done. Like every time
Ruthless.
there's a childhood. It's not like
City of God did it better.
The story's been done. Like the childhood soldier, like manipulation. It's been done. We've seen it before. You know, like I was with this, I was expecting to see something a little different. Like, you know, when like we're gonna get right into spoilers.
Dive right in. Fuck it.
Idris Elba is a disgusting warlord who rapes and molests kids.
Well,
So
you said it.
that's-
Allegedly.
No, I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
did
yes.
it. He gave him a
pretty
hat.
explicit.
It was weird.
It wasn't like that explicit.
But like,
I've been given a hat before, but not for that.
but like, I'm like, it's been every time they show like these warlords and child soldiers and stuff. That's always an aspect to it. And it's like we keep seeing that. Now, if they had spun it around and they had made where he was like where I thought he was going to be like this empowering, like giving the youth that had lost so much in their lives, giving them like this positive vibe and like taking back their village and something like that, like that would have been good to me. But we've seen this already.
I will say, you know, the one thing they didn't do, like there wasn't like a tearful like reunion with the mother and the, you know.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
I was expecting that.
Yeah.
I was like, they're gonna do it in the same way. Like I expected that to happen. That's sort of a cliche kind of moment that would happen in a movie like this.
Yeah.
They did it
Like
in Blood Diamond, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the reunion.
Spoiler alert for Blood Diamond.
I expected that, and it totally did not happen. Like, sorry, like that's.
I like that.
That didn't happen, and
Yeah.
how it ended, like where he's like just in a school. That sort of like
The
epilogue
monologue.
thing.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Like he's been like institutionalized and it's like all failing and coming back on him. Like he's like he can't stand it.
Yeah, and like that wasn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that was traditional for that kind of movie. Like, I don't know, just the way it ended like that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's what I was referring to.
It's
The
very different.
monologue at the end when he's talking about like, I'm talking to this woman who knows nothing of war, and I'm trying to explain to her like the depth and like the emotional trauma it's had on me.
And he's only like 12 years old or whatever.
I did like
this
that
is a
scene.
12-year-old saying this to a grown woman, and just like
She's like hanging on every word. Like
just the
it was powerful.
juxtapose of like a teacher who's again a grown woman and just knows nothing of like the true horror of war, and that a child has to explain to her, it like really
He's teaching her. Like it's
I thought that was beautiful.
It was
really
intense.
touched me. I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And it was also intense along with like emotional.
It touched you, and like the way Idris Elba.
Stop it.
No.
It touched me, but I didn't get a hat.
You didn't get a hat. There was no
That
hat
way.
given.
Okay.
Zing.
No, that was I think that's my biggest complaint about it.
Fuck you.
Okay. I can understand that.
We don't like
You're done.
other people's opinions here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand that. I mean, I wouldn't say there's like
Given
really
his
a
opinion.
lot of movies in this like genre. I
No.
guess like
Blood
you don't see many.
Diamond,
That's the thing. I
City of
instantly think.
God. There's like
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
of
only
Blood
one I can
Diamond,
think of.
that's-
the only movie I can think of.
I would say City of God's pretty close. You wouldn't put it
Child soldier. I mean, yeah, I guess with like kids like having to deal with violence.
the child
Totally,
soldiers.
that's
Yeah.
an interesting tie-in.
That's why I watched City of God. Did I mention that?
No.
Yeah, I was trying to tie it into Beasts.
Interesting, and yeah, I mean, there just hasn't been a lot of movies. I mean, those notes that it hits are similar to a lot of other types of movies.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, with the bad guy like taking over the kid, growing up and having to deal with, similar situations. Like I guess it's been done in movies before, but at the same time, like there hasn't been many like African child soldier movies.
No.
You know what I mean? So
It's similar almost to like the slavery theme in that they're being kidnapped and forced into doing something they don't want to do.
mm-hmm.
So like you could like I don't know, kind of similar to 12 Years a Slave, sort of, from like thematic standpoint.
yeah, I guess
Not in the details, but in like the themes, right?
for sure.
Um,
Although there's no reunion either.
yeah,
Again.
they were pretty harsh on old Agoo. He didn't get to see his parents ever.
They
again,
were.
right?
Damn.
Oh man, they spent so long like building up his family
Yeah,
that I was like heartbroken when the dad and the brother get shot. I'm like, fuck me.
which is good. Like,
Yeah,
that's
because usually
insane.
like a lot of movies well, again, we don't have a lot of examples, but like movies like this that typically have like some horrific incident happening to like a young child, it happens like pretty quick.
Yeah.
But this is like, you spend like 30 minutes, 35 minutes before Idris even appears on screen, and you just get so attached to the family. I'm just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, like they like fleshed out the brother and everything.
Yeah.
And...
I was like, at least get like, maybe like, get them separated and then have some hope that they meet up. No,
but you kind of had some
gunned down. I'm like, fuck.
Like when the brother goes, they're like running, and then he like, you hear some shots, and then the kid like keeps running, and then he's like, well, where is he? And he looks back, and it's just like brains blown out. It was like,
and I liked that it was just a quick, dry death for his brother, just showing like in reality, there's not going to be this.
He didn't have time to stop and like hug his body or anything like that. He's like, I gotta fucking just keep going.
Realistic. It was sense of realism to it.
That's how it would happen in real life. There's not going to be like a slow motion like explosion and you both like crying and like no.
Yeah.
Like he just looks back and this guy he just grew up with, his best friend, is dead.
You know, like
promise me you'll
find your mother. Yeah, like that didn't happen. It was just ruthless.
Yeah. Straight like
You're
there's a lot of
ruthless
shit in this movie. When they're clearing out that building and his little like child soldier friends are like stomping out that little girl and she's like screaming. You guys know what I'm talking
about? You remember that long ass scene? You remember that? Like that was like how long was that?
That's a single take tracking shot.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
it's crazy because it follows Agu as he's walking through, and then
there's like multiple rooms too.
The super disturbing part when he walks back into the room while they're raping that girl, and he just like shoots the girl in the face.
Just pops her.
I'm just like, oh
who
fuck!
Shot her?
Agu shot her. I was like,
really?
This guy's getting cold. Yeah.
Was it the mother of the girl that they were stomping?
Yeah, I think they're raping the mom.
Yeah, so like I think he did that to spare her.
Yeah,
right?
but it's just like I don't know.
But it's fucked up.
It's fucked. Yeah, but that shot was
fantastic.
Like
it was after we watched it. It was like
Fukunaga.
It was like almost at the end of the shot. We're like, this shot hasn't cut yet. Like it just kept going. Like this again.
I remember saying that. I said that.
Yeah, it was you.
I was like, wait, you guys noticed there's no cut. This whole thing.
You guys need to see True Detective
again.
It's only 8 episodes, please.
This newcomer actor just walking from room to room, walking back and forth past this camera crew, something that he's never done before. Yeah. It was just again nailing this role.
Yeah. And like speaking of brutal stuff, how about when those two guys had the grenades in their mouth and they just pulled the pin and like walk away? And I think Idris Elba was talking to someone.
Yeah.
And his back's to them. They're just like, yeah, so bang!
It's just nothing.
An explosion goes off behind them. Like, oh, that was annoying. Anyways, like they just blew someone's head apart. Two guys' heads.
Yeah.
That's fucked. But yeah.
Get wrecked.
Any other scenes we want to mention at all? Or
I mean,
no? Guess not. All right, I think we'll get into the moment we've all been waiting for, at least us for, finding out what our underrated / guilty pleasure horror movie that we want to talk about today in honor of Halloween, which for us was last night, as we record this now on Sunday night. Anyone want to jump in?
Let's lay out some criteria.
Okay.
So for the guilty pleasures, we decided that anything that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes is a guilty pleasure. And then we excluded Scott's choice for the underrated because we have no idea what Scott's is. But the underrated we thought would be anywhere between 60 and 75, so like decently reviewed but not that well reviewed. Scott's is 86, and he doesn't think the three of us have seen it and possibly haven't heard of it. So we're going to let him slide with the 86 because I'm just super intrigued to find out what the fuck it is.
So am I. So
you might have heard of it.
You think that's an under rating?
The average critic rating is lower. It's like
it's like
7 something. Yeah.
Yes.
So just like everyone gave it like a little bit above average.
The old Rotten Tomatoes deception.
Yeah. So I don't think it doesn't. It's not like on par with like Steve Jobs says 85. You know what I mean? Like and this is 86. Like Steve Jobs is a far superior movie to this movie, for example.
But Steve Jobs' average rating is probably like 9s,
right?
And this is at like probably like 6s and 7s.
Yeah, it's a little bit deceiving, the Rotten Tomatoes.
Who wants to start?
That's all the rules we gave.
That's all we did. Yeah, because you had to be.
I kind of want to hear Scott's first.
Well,
here we go.
Start big.
I guess I'll start it off. I'm scared. Let me just find the old plot synopsis here.
Oh, I hate when he does this. I'm so scared.
Oh. Memory banks. Hello.
This movie came out December 9th, 2007. And you know what? I say it came out this year. It actually didn't really get a release. It never really came out in theaters. It was like a super limited release, like literally like a couple theaters, and went straight like VOD. And it actually got a pretty big cult following after this. But this movie is it centers on 4 Halloween related stories. It's sort of an anthology. This movie is Trick or Treat.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Have you guys heard of this?
This has an 86?
It has an 86% on
Wow.
Rotten Tomatoes.
I think I vaguely heard about this.
Yeah, I vaguely heard about it too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, okay, so vaguely heard. I like that. Starring Dylan Baker, Anna Paquin, Brian Cox. Yeah, it's 4 different stories. Sort of classic Halloween, stories you might have heard before, but not really, like, sort of done in a different way. And throughout this whole... what?
Gene Simmons? Is he not in this?
No.
Really? For the listeners, I just stuck my tongue out to signal to Scott.
That was greasy.
This is incredibly embarrassing. Tim, edit this out.
Maybe he was, and I just didn't notice him.
The movie I had heard called Trick or Treat. It's like a cult classic Halloween movie. Gene Simmons.
Like Gene Simmons, like lead singer
Kiss,
for
right?
Kiss.
Is that his
Gene
name?
Simmons.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed Gene Simmons in this
Is there
movie.
another Gene Simmons? They said Gene Simmons the rock stars in it.
You're thinking of a different one. You're thinking of that 1986
Oh,
Trick or Treat.
I heard 86, and I just...
The comedy horror musical.
Well...
I was like, what?
So,
I'm sorry, I swear to God I watched this movie and I
nice
see Gene
faux
Simmons.
news story tie.
Okay, well, I have never heard of it, sir.
So the sort of the one element that ties all these 4 stories is sort of this character called Sam, who's like a mysterious like little kid wearing like a burlap sack on his head, and it's kind of he sort of shows up in each one of them, and there's it's pretty
Is this
good.
like a pumpkin shaped burlap sack?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
It's
I've seen a murder scene from it was on a list of like top 10 like deaths in a horror movie or something like that.
Really?
I remember seeing a little burlap sack type kid. This is where I know that movie from. Okay.
There's a good death.
Yeah.
There's definitely some good deaths in this movie. Just for example, like Dylan Baker plays like this teacher, this high school teacher who like, is like murdering. He's like a murderer, like a serial killer, and like it's all set on like Halloween night, and he's like murdering like this kid. It's like classic. There's like a head in the fridge, and like people are like in there trying to like like you've seen it before.
Classic, yeah.
And
Okay, so quickly, what genre does this fall under? Is it like a straight horror? Or...
It's horror.
Okay.
Halloween night.
But
baby.
it's a little bit like it's a little bit on the nose. Like it knows what it is. It's like Halloween, like horror slasher kind of stuff.
Okay.
And there's like sort of a classic kind of style. One of the stories where like there's sort of a flashback to where like a bus like flies off like a cliff and like all the kids die.
Okay.
And like these kids are like telling themselves like a ghost story of like what happened to these kids. And, like they go to the crash site and like all these like zombie like kids come out of the like mud and stuff.
Oh, that's disturbing.
It's like I don't know. It just seems very like typical of like sort of a Halloween horror story you might hear.
Yeah.
Like around a campfire. And this story involving Anna Paquin. She's like this like virgin girl like going out on Halloween to like this party like dressing up. Like we've all seen like the classic like virgin trope in like horror movies.
Yeah.
And
Classic. Classic
She, like-
horror virgin.
she gets like thrown into like this like cult of like vampire like like I don't know. It's just it's so these stories you've probably heard of like somewhere like similar stories to what you've heard.
Yeah.
And
Anna Paquin in a vampire horror.
I haven't heard that.
No,
before.
never heard of it.
no,
She's never done anything
So
like
nothing
original.
like that. No like TV shows or anything like
No
that.
long running TV show, no.
No.
that.
She does television?
No.
No,
True.
I don't
I
think
wouldn't.
so.
True.
You know what? I rewatched this movie because I watched it like years ago, and I felt like when I
Really?
rewatched it, I like wouldn't like it as much. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like you gotta go in knowing what it is.
What? 86%? That's
I know.
insane.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like the budget of this movie, just to check it out, $12 million budget. So like double Beast of No Nation. Yeah, how crazy is that? It only made $7 million because like it didn't even like it didn't even.
I
get
remember this
released.
thing coming in really, yeah.
It didn't get released. I think it's a travesty that didn't get a wide release because I think it would have made a lot more money. And actually, Bryan Singer was a producer on this. I was shocked when I saw that. Bryan Singer produced this.
This is right around
But you know what?
Last Stand time.
I didn't mention this earlier, but it's not really surprising considering Michael Dougherty, who's the director of Trick or Treat, he wrote X2. So there
No.
is how wild is that?
Interesting.
So it was right around Last Stand time.
And he's also directing the upcoming, I don't know if it's out yet, but the Krampus movie, which the trailer came out.
I've seen the trailer for that.
So he's directing Krampus movie.
Maybe next Halloween you'll use that as your guilty pleasure.
Ooh, maybe. I don't think that's going to be that well received.
Ruthless.
And the one thing that shocked me is that he's writing X-Men Apocalypse, or at least he's one of the writers on X-Men Apocalypse.
The director of this movie?
The director of Trick or Treat, who
Really?
he wrote and directed Trick or Treat.
Okay.
He's one of the writers on Apocalypse,
Wow.
which is
okay.
pretty shocking.
Wow.
After I see this movie, but
Singer loves him, I guess.
yeah, for me, I mean, reels wise, I mean, I give it heavy 3 out of 5 for what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's like one of those movies, like it's like a Christmas movie. It's like on Halloween you like watch Trick or Treat. It's like, I don't know, it's just so Halloween to me. So
Apparently you don't. We've never even heard of it.
well,
for
maybe
the most
next
part.
Halloween you'll watch Trick or
We
Treat.
will. I won't know.
Yeah, so that's my underrated horror movie for me, Trick or Treat.
Excellent.
Anyone else want to
Treat.
jump in?
This is tense.
I'll jump in.
Ty's
Tyler.
there.
I'll jump
Good
in.
enough that.
Give us a greasy pick.
Hey, Ty. I'm scared.
What could be worse than the Lazarus Effect?
Nothing.
Well, I'll give you this. This
Find out.
Rotten Tomatoes, 27%.
It's better.
So it's almost double. the
almost
Lazarus
double.
Effect.
1 out of 4 people. give
Yeah.
a positive review.
I'll give it again. Synopsis first. The women having been enslaved by a local pack of lesbian vampires, thanks to an ancient curse.
Fucking
I
do it.
fucking knew.
The remaining menfolk of a rural town send 2 hapless young lads out onto the moors as a sacrifice.
I knew it.
I'm talking, of course, of the huge box office success of 2009, Lesbian Vampire Killers.
That's ridiculous.
So,
This one-
listeners, can I just preface this?
Go ahead.
Ty here sings the praises of this film, and he's the only person I've ever met who's seen it. I'd never heard of it before. He brought it up to me, and Tim, and Scott. Just continue.
Again, I think like first episode you mentioned us having to
Yeah.
watch this movie. We're like, no.
This
Scott,
is-
have you not seen? I think you've seen this,
it
haven't
is
you?
his
I'm
guilty
about to
pleasure.
blow your guys' minds. I've seen this movie, and
Yes!
I watched it this month, actually.
Yes.
You greasy fuck.
How greasy is that? I will say your plot synopsis isn't necessarily that accurate. It starts out... I don't know. It doesn't really start out that way, right?
It doesn't start out that
Doesn't
way, yes.
start out
But
that
all
way.
the other ones I could find, they were all like it was like one word openers. So it was like a one sentence thing. I was like, this isn't gonna do it justice.
Like, it starts off as sort of a road trip kind of movie.
Yeah.
Where these guys get together and they want to like escape, and then they meet up with like these girls, and then it gets
But they also
weird.
start the movie by saying that by telling by explaining a little bit more about
Yeah, there's like this weird backstory flashback.
yeah, but it all makes sense in the end. They tied up with a nice bow.
But tell us
A little bit
about
more.
it.
I'll tell you. So it's starring James Corden, whom I love, host of the Late Late Show.
Really?
Is this the British
Yeah.
chap?
Yeah, yeah.
The portly chap?
Yeah,
Totally British chaps.
was
Star
in,
of Three Musketeers.
Okay.
Is
What a
amazing
career
movie.
he's carved out.
What was that movie that came out?
Into the
Into the
Woods.
Woods.
Yeah, he was in it.
Into the Woods.
love that movie. He's also in Doctor Who, I believe, as well. Matthew Horn, Mayana Buring, Vera. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name.
Mayana
Sylvia
Buring.
Coloca and Paul McGann, who plays Mark North in Luther alongside Idris Elba.
Oh.
Ties tie-in.
Boom,
I
ties
like
tie-in right
him.
there. Hashtag
Okay.
ties tie-in.
Boom.
It didn't really help me when I was trying to get information on this movie to try and like woo you guys into watching this. I was on Rotten Tomatoes looking up some stuff, and one of the things was like people who like this also like Green Hornet, and I was like, this isn't really helping me.
That's rough.
Oh god.
That's
Directed by
hilarious.
Phil Clayton and written by Stuart Williams and Paul Hetfield. Not really a great they've done very
No track
little.
record, huh?
Rough.
Really, like it's such a different. It's a very different movie. It feels like the best way for me to describe it is it feels like it was written and directed by Edgar Wright's raunchy, perverted younger brother.
Yeah,
It's
Okay,
got-
that's fair. That's fair.
Would you
That's what
agree
it
with that?
seems like.
I would agree
to
with
me.
that.
Okay, like
Like I haven't
Definitely
seen it,
perverted.
and that's what I would.
Yeah.
It's called Lesbian Vampire.
yeah,
Killers.
it's just it's such a like I don't it's I really enjoy this movie.
It's a guilty pleasure, I guess.
It is. Budget was $2 million. Which I think, you know what, you can see it. You can see with the special effects. Like it was all practical, special effects. Like there was like, I don't think like any CG was all just like special effect. Like it was all like filters and stuff like
cool.
that.
I like practical.
Yeah, it was all practical. Like it was really gross, but it was practical.
Yeah, there were some jokes.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like it wasn't like scary or anything. Like,
no,
it
wasn't
like, totally. It knew what it was.
Yeah, and you know, I think they
were self-aware.
Yeah, and they did really well with that. At least I think so. I'm giving it. We're rating these, right?
Oh yeah,
we're rating these.
Buddy,
Okay.
we're rating
I'm
them.
giving this a light 4 reels.
Wow,
Yeah.
shit!
Every time I watch this, I enjoy it.
Please, like, put this on Letterboxd front and center. Like, screenshot you giving it like 4 stars on Letterboxd and make that your biopic. Like your
That's it right there, Lesbian Vampire Killer.
Yeah, your avatar,
your profile picture.
Your profile picture.
Like for me, this is like a heavy 2, maybe a light 3.
Really?
Ruthless.
Like
ruthless.
I was funny.
I thought it was kind of funny.
That's what you liked about it, like most the humor. Or?
Yeah, I like the it was humor, but it was like
I mean, the girls were pretty hot in it.
The girls were very hot.
If there's one,
wow.
If there's one pro,
I gotta see it now.
But it was
girls were
hot
pretty
lesbian
hot.
vampire chicks.
Yeah, but it was like a weird. It wasn't really a horror, but it was like it had like a dark horror kind of comedy aspect to it. It was
Shaun of the Dead-esque.
And here's the thing: like, if you guys out there have ever seen American Werewolf in London, a lot of this movie just straight up takes from that. Like when they go out to the village and then they're like, the people in the pub are like saying, oh, like watch out, like saying there's like bad things, there's like this curse in this area, like you guys need to leave. It's like straight out of American Werewolf in London. Like, so have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's just the thing. Like, I don't know, just a lot of it was like a really derivative.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can see what they're trying to do, and I don't know, it didn't hit as much as it hit for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the jokes, I kind of giggled a couple times.
It was something about it that I
this
really.
Movie does describe Ty Switalski.
Yeah, if we had to pick like one movie to sum up our whole like movie going like life
persona,
I feel like this movie is like Tyler.
Lesbian vampire.
Yes, it
okay,
is.
then you guys have to see it. Then you guys have to.
It's true. I
Our
do wanna
quintessential
see it.
movie for each other.
Yeah. It defines you.
Like I'm not saying this is my like if we all get that one. I'm not saying this is my one, but I'm saying you guys have to see this.
I just want to say The Big Lebowski defines me for sure.
Is it for sure?
That's mine.
I just want to say like, what defines Tim? Like, what do you think?
So undefinable.
Tune in next week.
So undefinable.
We'll find out what
Any
defines
movie
Tim.
about a pedophile, I feel, would really define
Lovely
you
Bones.
to a T.
Sleepers,
Lovely Bones.
Lovely Bones. Mystic River.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Any of those?
That's it. Any of those.
Definitely.
We editing this shit out.
Tim, edit that out.
Jesus.
No, that would mean like he's a pedophile because he'd be trying to hide.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I straight up got it.
Zodiac, like something like that.
Serial killer. Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah. Anything about a serial killer or a pedophile? That's Tim.
7. That's a good.
7.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to? Tim.
On that note, Tim.
Blue.
I'm gonna have to change this because it's gonna be really incriminating.
What's
Okay,
your? Are you going guilty pleasure on us?
I'm going guilty pleasure on you guys.
Oh,
It's a fun one.
Guilty pleasure horror.
Adam knows what this is. He
I
private
know.
messaged me immediately when we decided this. He's like, "You doing this movie, right?" I'm like, "Of course I'm doing this movie."
Wow.
I know instantly. Fuck.
This is sitting at Rotten Tomatoes with a 28%.
Oh
Average
my
critic
God.
rating of 4.2 out of 10.
I'm telling you, you just beat Lesbian Vampire Killer
It's pretty great.
by a single
By a
percent.
percentile.
I'll give you the plot synopsis first, I guess.
See if I can guess this.
I don't think you're going
Good
to.
luck.
8 years into a 123-year mission to establish a colony on a distant planet.
Alien.
No.
Sorry.
Two
You know what?
crew members.
I haven't seen this, but I know what it is.
2 crew members are wakened from hypersleep with little memory of themselves or their mission. As they attempt to figure out who they are, they also search to discover what happened to the rest of the 60,000 passengers.
Whoa.
This is the 2009 movie Pandorum,
Yeah.
written by
I haven't
Travis.
seen it. I haven't
But you
seen
knew?
It, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it had a lot of trailers and stuff when it was coming
Really?
out. Written by Travis Malloy and directed by Christian Alvart. They've both done not much.
We all have that in common.
It stars Dennis Quaid, my boy Ben Foster,
Yeah, Ben Foster.
Oh, I love
Cam-
Ben.
I heard he was great in it.
He was good in it. He was very good. Cam Gigandet and Norman Reedus pops up.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, as we
Thanks.
all have established, I have a soft spot for sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
And this
given.
does take place on a spaceship. So immediately, this is like at least a 3-star movie.
It starts off at a 3 and can go no lower.
It can go no lower than
It
that.
can only go higher.
So
I'm
like,
surprised it got that low of a rating.
if there was like
Pandorum.
pedophilia in this, is your
Yeah,
movie
it's
here.
oddly low. I find it's especially like the first like 3 quarters. The last quarter becomes like a slasher type thing, but the first 3 quarters is like a really interesting like psychological. You're following these 2 guys through like this oddly empty ship for having so many people, and then there's a big mystery about like why they've waken up early from hypersleep, what's happened to other crew members. There's people popping up that like Norman Reedus, you don't know if he's a crew member or if he's like some other person who's just on the ship for some reason. Really interesting stuff going on. A couple good jump scares. Again, spaceship, the atmosphere I find of spaceships are just usually so just
It sounds like Alien. Like
yeah, it's like
kind of-
that kind of like aloneness of it all. That's why I love like the Metroid games, because it's so solo of it. It was just like
which took like from Alien.
oh yeah,
You do love
hugely.
Metroid.
I'm
I
connecting
do
this
love
to like
Metroid.
a really weird movie, Lost in Space.
Get the fuck out.
Like,
With Joey Tribbiani.
he starred in it, yes.
You know what? You scoff at Lost in Space, but if you looked at
That's
the
a guilty
Rotten
pleasure.
Tomatoes scores, I bet they're very similar.
Probably better than all the
whatever.
movies.
Oh, he's on it.
But like
Danger.
Hear me out.
Danger.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Danger Joey Tribbiani.
Hear me out here.
Danger,
Awakening
Tyler.
from a hypersleep, and they are with some random guy whom they're not sure if he's an enemy or.
That's fair.
That's fair.
It's similar. You know
okay.
what? There's a movie coming out starring
just gonna say
Jennifer
that.
Lawrence
Yeah.
and Chris Pratt, where I think Chris Pratt wakes from the ship from hypersleep.
Yeah.
And then he's like lonely, so he like wakes up Jennifer Lawrence.
I'll be seeing that.
Is Matt LeBlanc in this?
He's not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh well, I'm not seeing it.
That's already a 3. Like
It's
already.
at least a 3 already.
So, like, it sounds like Pandorum.
Lawrence bumps up another star, so that's 4 stars right there. Or reels.
Pratt.
Pratt's
an
another
automatic
half,
3.
so that's 4.5 right there.
So you're riding a heavy 4 going
Heavy 4
into this
already,
puppy.
Anyways, a little Pandorum background for you. A budget of $33 million.
That's big.
And it's got 1% better than Lesbian Vampire.
It fell short of making that back.
And
At
31 million more.
21 million hits the box office.
Wow.
So it was a flop. Definitely a flop.
That's
When
generous.
did it come out?
This was 2009.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers and like I was like,
I
whoa,
do
this
too.
is weird. Like,
Yeah.
They were like vague.
The trailer
vibes.
was very intriguing.
Wasn't it vague though? Somewhat vague though. Like they didn't really give away a
Yeah.
whole lot.
Yeah,
Right?
which is good because there's a big like
Like a
it's
lot
like
of
all
mystery.
there's
atmosphere
a
in the trailer.
twist
Yeah.
that's pretty. There's a pretty decent twist at towards the end of this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but it's hard when you don't have a heavyweight name attached to a trailer
Ben Foster.
You had Ben Foster and like Dennis Quaid.
to play the mystery box card
Yeah.
with an original IP like
Yeah.
this, unless you have a Christopher Nolan name like with Inception or Interstellar. So hard to
Break
Something
it
to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I don't even remember like
People are like,
who
I don't care.
directed this. Like
No
they hadn't
one-
really
yeah.
exactly.
No one.
If it was a big name, like
Ruth.
$33 million.
They literally
and
just set
no
up the
one-
camera and just let it roll. I think.
Ben Foster just brought his GoPro.
But yeah, some pretty sweet stuff. This was planned as like a trilogy of movies.
Oh my god.
Because the way it ends
Risky.
does it doesn't set up, but like it could set up like a sequel of some sort.
Prometheus style.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting idea. Pandorum is a essentially it's like a cabin fever type thing. Like, do you know how in cabin fever on boats,
Yeah.
people get like kind of stir crazy?
Start going.
That's
Or
kind of
cabins.
Or in cabins usually, I think.
it's based off
It based off ships though.
based off ships. But yes. The horror movies are based off actual cabins, but the actual term cabin fever is
I
from
guess maybe I'm thinking of Cabin Fever. Who
The movie.
Eli
You think of,
Roth,
the actual
Yeah.
movie.
which is in a cabin.
Yeah.
That's why I think
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, the actual,
Cabinet theater, maybe?
Cabinet Theater. Yeah.
Theater,
That's,
yeah.
that's it.
I
Anyways,
fucked that up.
really good movie.
You thought it was Cabinet Theater?
No.
I'm hitting this puppy.
I'm hungover.
Oh,
I can't decide. It's so on the verge of a heavy 3 and late 4. I kind of want to
Okay.
give it a late 4.
you got to go with your gut and
Give it the 5 banger you
No,
so
I
desperately
can't.
want to give
I
it,
can't. I
Tim.
can't.
I won't judge you.
Late 4 though. I love this movie.
Light 4. Wow.
Interesting.
Ben Foster's
I
great.
I will watch this movie solely off your love of
Can I watch it with you?
I just I just wrote Pandorum down on my piece of paper because I need to add it to my watch.
I feel like you guys aren't gonna like it.
I'm getting the pen out.
You never know. You never know.
These are true guilty pleasures. These are all like horribly reviewed.
Yeah.
But like I want to see them because you guys love them so much, right?
People love mine. Speak for yourself.
That's right. Sorry.
Wow.
How could I be so stupid?
Adam, I think it's time. Back to you. What is your guilty pleasure?
I'm nervous. I don't want to be judged for this, guys.
So you know what?
Don't judge me.
You've been telling us for a while that you like movies that critics like, and that you don't have any real guilty pleasures.
Shit.
So now to finally hear what your actual guilty pleasure is,
Now,
I gotta know.
You haven't seen this nor heard of this one, right?
I think you have to have heard of it.
Okay.
Even me?
Because it's not an original IP. It's based off something
Okay.
that you've definitely heard of.
Okay.
But I strongly doubt the three of you have seen it. Ty is always the wild card. You never know with him.
You never know.
I want to blow your top off so badly here.
Wow.
Well,
Thank you.
Not,
doesn't
Buy me
take
dinner
much.
first.
not sexually, but dinner first. Okay.
Came out in 2006 with a critic rating of 29%.
Wow, we're all floating around the same.
Wow, one
And
higher than
Average rating from critics of 4.8 out of 10.
It's better than Pandorum.
Written by one Roger Avery, who's actually Quentin Tarantino's co-writing partner. He wrote True Romance, Natural Born Killers, and Reservoir Dogs with Quentin.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the
All right.
Wozniak of Quentin Tarantino. Directed by one Christopher Gans, who's done Nothing Before and Nothing After.
I know this.
Bad sign.
Starring Radha Mitchell? Radha Mitchell? Female. Never seen her in anything before or after. Kim Coates, who's a schlock king, you'd know his face. Laurie Holden of The Walking Dead fame.
Yeah.
And one Sean Bean. The plot synopsis.
Wow.
I know this.
A woman goes in search for her missing daughter within the confines of a strange, desolate town called Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
I haven't seen it.
Wow.
It looked
I haven't
interesting,
seen
but
it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen Silent Hill.
I
Tim?
wanted to.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
I knew it! Well, prepare to get greasy, fellas. This thing is great. I love this movie. Don't give a fuck. Who knows it?
Did you play the Silent
I'm
Hill
going
games
full
before this?
retard.
Did you play Silent Hill before watching this
I
movie?
grew up with Silent Hill video games. I played them.
So there was a little bit of prior
No
knowledge.
nostalgia to it. Going
No,
into it.
no, fuck you both. Yeah, there was. It was a huge
Little
nostalgia
influence
factor.
there.
And I was just shocked that they made a movie of it, really. I thought, okay, so I'm truly shocked that the creative team, like, really went on to do nothing. Like, even the writer, Roger Avery, who had those previous writing hits.
This was the love guru of his career, I guess.
Ooh,
That cuts deep.
low blow.
Stay silent. Scott.
Sorry, guys.
Stay silent on your hill.
Under the hill, okay.
So atmosphere, that's the big thing for me with horror movies. For me,
Trademark of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
fantastic.
If you have no
in this
atmosphere, then
movie.
you have no horror movie.
Perfectly said,
Yeah.
sir. So the lead, Radha Mitchell, when she's going in search of her daughter, or like bringing her to, she has these nightmares about Silent Hill, wakes up talking about Silent Hill, this town. Kind of reminded me of Crimson Peak in that sense. And they're driving towards Silent Hill, and she just sees like an image of a ghost walking by, and they spin out. This is the beginning of the movie, so no spoilers. Have this big like spinning out. She almost goes off the road, knocks out, wakes up. Her daughter's gone, and it's like snowy and foggy, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
I remember seeing that in the trailer, like
Right?
we're walking through like misty, like snowy kind of.
Yeah, and she's at one point she like touches her face and rubs it, and it's black and oily, and she realizes it's ash.
Yeah, Ash. Yeah.
This was a really
That was from the trailer.
really great
that.
effect that just creates this like really chilling atmosphere. It looks like a constant snowfall, but it's like ash because like the town had burned down. So I guess it's like this haunted effect because like I guess it's like a could be metaphorically, could be literally hell. It's like just this demonic town. So I thought that created like an awesome atmosphere. Like I was saying with the atmosphere, I love horror things that make you feel alone. Like this isolated feeling in a whole world around you. So I love Resident Evil 4, like to compare it to video games. Obviously, it's based off a video game. BioShock, Resident Evil 4, just things where you're like plunged into this like massive world with all this history, but you're just alone and everyone's against you. That's what this movie was for me. She's in Silent Hill, just a single mom, you know, she's not an action hero, she's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, she's vulnerable. Just going through, and like, I just thought the world building was fantastic. Like, I'd like to see Guillermo del Toro take a stab at like a reboot of this.
That seems like too like obvious.
On the nose.
Though. Yeah.
Well, he was actually directing the last Silent Hill video game that just got canceled, but he was literally directing that video game.
He was just a producer on it, or like how do you direct a video game, right?
Video games have creative directors. He was,
creative directors. Okay.
Yeah, he was doing it with
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus was going to
Tie into
star.
Pandorum!
Super tie-in. And Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid fame. They were like co-directing it. Yeah.
Really?
But yeah, like there's so much great world building in this. Just little details like the creatures. Like when she roams into Silent Hill right off the bat, she just sees this wandering zombie-like creature, and it's just all gray. There's kind of this like muted thing that's just moaning, like walking towards her, and it's just terrifying. You're like, what the fuck is this? Get me out of here.
Yeah.
And little stuff like that. You just want to like see her explore this world. There's a moment where she thinks she sees her daughter like run down a staircase, so she goes down and she's just got a lighter to light the way. It's pitch black down there.
Super creepy.
Always like a creepy trope.
Because you always see stuff in the background. It's always super fucking creepy.
Or like they're like, the light's out, and then
again, and it's there.
Try and light it again, and then the light comes on, and there's like a face there.
You want to see a terrifying lighter scene? She's holding the lighter up, and she's just approaching this like fence with a corpse just attached to it, and the lighter goes out, and she flicks it back on, and you just hear another like a moaning sound, and then the camera's like down by where the lighter is in her hand, and slowly pans up, revealing behind her is just this horde of, I don't even know, that's what I love about Silent Hill, like they're undescribable creatures. They were like small babies that look like they've been like bloated and blue and like veiny, and they're all just like moaning like,
sounds disgusting
behind her. It was terrifying, and she just runs for her life, like back up the stairs and like onto the street. And yeah, I just loved just her exploring that atmospheric world. You know, it was genuinely terrifying at moments, and a lot of the music choices I thought were really interesting. There's a moment where she wakes up in this deserted school, and over the PA they're playing Johnny Cash Ring of Fire. So, you know, that song juxtaposed with this world is just like a really cool, creepy
kind of creepy
atmosphere.
vibe, like
yeah, totally creepy vibe, and you're just like, oh my god, like this whole movie is just like discomfort around every corner. I'm just like super tense.
I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like horror movies, just like the way they make you feel like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, why did the critics not like it so much? Was it the plot? Was there much going on there? Was it only atmosphere? Was it only that kind of experience? Or was there actually a story, well-written story?
I thought there was a fairly well-written story. Because there's a twist at the end, and she's trying to figure out what connection her daughter has to this town. Like, why would her daughter wake up dreaming of this town, right? So yeah, there is a nice twist at the end for me. I didn't feel it was cheap. I thought it was a well-deserved twist. And maybe it is a case of style over substance, but there's a point where if the style is so overpoweringly good, you ignore the lack of substance, for me.
I guess, yeah.
Right?
I have a question, but you said this before. You mentioned this earlier. These were based off of video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Yes and no.
Okay.
Just the title alone.
Because you know the curse of the video games being turned into movies. Like, it never goes well.
I was going to say, this is the exception to the rule. I obviously think this is a good movie, and it is a video game property.
Yeah, but see, it didn't do well, though.
No, of course not. The world shitted on it.
Yeah.
But it isn't actually like following a story of one of the games.
Okay.
It is like an
They're just
original
taking like some
concept.
principles from...
Yeah.
Okay.
I would still consider it a video game movie, though.
Of course.
Okay.
You have to. It's the bare bones concept is like the video game. Yeah. Just to touch on the design, just one couple final things. They did lift a couple of tropes from the Silent Hill games.
Okay.
I don't know how familiar you guys are. Do you guys know the nurses?
No, not very.
They're like an iconic creature.
They made an appearance?
They made a perfectly executed appearance. Like, it's exactly the way it is in the video game.
And the main, like, kind of bad, like...
Pyramid Head?
Pyramid Head, did he make an appearance?
Oh, he's in there, but...
He's in this?
He's terrifying.
I remember
seeing...
he's
perfectly
I'm pretty sure
put
he
on
was in
film.
the trailer, like...
Yeah.
Sure
they do this really cool effect where... she'll just hear, like, you know the sirens they used in World War when, like, bombs were coming in? There you have it.
Nice.
Eyes bits.
Thank you.
And it just creates this sudden fear in you and this intensity where you're just like, holy shit, like something's gonna hit here. What is going on? And they do this really sweet effect where it's kind of this red vision and the paint starts to strip off the walls and everything goes like rusted. Just like you're watching it strip off the walls and it's like cockroaches just crawl out from like every crack and crevice and you're just like terrified.
Gross.
And then you see Pyramid Head like stomping in with that sword from like the distance. It's just really sweet like design.
Sorry, I have no idea who this guy is. Like you
Yeah.
calling him
Oh, he's
Pyramid Head.
terrifying.
So I'm just thinking, like, what the hell does this guy look like?
I know,
You have
dude.
to call him Pyramid Head.
It's a dude with a pyramid on his head.
That
That's
sounds
literally
so
it.
stupid.
No, it's actually terrifying looking.
I
It
just
sounds
realized
stupid,
How
but
do you
you
take
would
this guy
not
seriously?
sleep. I feel like this is a bad movie for you. You already don't sleep enough as
As
it
it
is.
is.
And watching this, you wouldn't sleep for like 2 days.
it.
Seriously.
I just realized, yeah, maybe I should give like an explanation for the people that don't know the games. It's just like he's the main villain in the games. He's this, I guess,
Antagonist.
demonic antagonist that appears with this
Entity.
metal caged pyramid around his head and just tracks you down with dragging like a 10-foot sword.
In the
Yeah.
game, he was just like impossible to kill.
Okay, that's pretty terrifying.
I'm sure you'll see a picture on the screen.
Yeah,
of
you'll
him.
probably see it like right now.
It's
Yeah, like totally
terrifying.
unwieldy
Yeah.
sword
This
and
looks
helmet.
terrifying.
Which doesn't
But,
make
yeah.
sense, but he makes it work, I guess.
It's just
He works out. He can hold
it's the
it.
Japanese way. They just show you something terrifying. They don't explain it. They're just like,
You just know it's scary
look,
as shit.
now you're scared.
That's messed up.
And yeah, so I thought that was an awesome design choice sound wise with that siren and visually with the paint stripping and then Pyramid Head coming. And there's one of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen in a movie committed by Pyramid Head, where he, you know, if you grab someone by the collar of their shirt and pick them up, he does that to someone, but by their skin, their chest skin, lifts them up and just then proceeds to just rip their entire skin off.
From-
Oh,
Entire flesh.
that's disgusting.
Like a band-aid.
I gotta see this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want you guys to see it
I've
and
heard
tell
this,
me I'm
this
retarded.
gets mentioned a lot in like best video game movies.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is I feel like this
I've
is
never
gonna
heard
be
of any,
kind of like the
Yeah, it's
Assassin's
not
Creed
best.
type style, where like it takes place in the same universe as the Silent Hill video games. Because the Silent Hill
it's
town
not
is
using the same
but it's not the same
characters or the
characters.
same story.
Yeah,
I think
it's
there's
like
a couple characters that pop up.
I think, yeah, I don't know why it was hated by critics. For me, it was just like a great horror movie that happened to be called Silent Hill. That happened to be a technical video game movie. Just a couple stats here. It actually was the biggest budget movie of all of ours with $50 million budget.
50.
$50 million.
That's huge.
That's insane. That's almost double the second highest, which is Pandorum, right? Opened a $20 million weekend domestically, which honestly
Not
isn't
bad.
garbage.
That's actually decent.
For a horror movie, that's actually good.
Domestic and
Especially based on a video game. Like that.
you think
curse
this would do
that
well
follows
in
it, yeah.
Japan?
Well, I was going to say it did do well in Japan. It went on by the end of its theater run to gross a worldwide $96 million. So it actually almost doubled the budget. I don't know.
Of course, not including marketing. That number doesn't include marketing and everything.
Right, but it turned a profit.
Yeah.
For a video game horror movie,
It got a sequel as well.
it did get a sequel in 2012, 6 years later. I don't know what the holdup was.
Not
Like,
as well received.
maybe the critical bashing put a development hell on it.
And it's, I mean, I think that when the first movie came out, Silent Hill, the games were a bit more
Relevant.
in the forefront, a bit more relevant.
I know that,
At the point of the sequel, I don't think it was as relevant.
and I do know that the sequel didn't help that it was a piece of shit and considered.
That
worse.
was
Yeah,
not
the
help.
sequel is resting at a healthy 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoa.
The lowest rating of the night.
Wow.
So like
Wow.
the first one is considered a piece of shit, and then it's like that took a shit, and that's the sequel, a 5%er. I was intrigued just because I liked the first one so much, but it's not a true sequel either. It's just I was gonna say the twist at the end without giving any spoilers, it makes it very hard to do a sequel to the movie.
Okay.
And that's
shoehorned in.
They set themselves up for failure, kind of.
It was like a shoehorn money grab sequel.
Yeah.
Like none of the same characters. It was bullshit. But yeah, I really like Silent Hill, and you guys should all watch
Rating.
it. Light 4 reels.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Wow.
It's good. It's knocking it's probably honorable mention for top 10 horror movies, maybe like knocking on the door. I'm not a huge horror fan, so I haven't seen a lot.
You're no Brian Abbey.
Shout out to Brian Abbey. I'm no you, sir. See Silent Hill. It'll fuck you up good.
I'm sure you've seen it, but
I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah,
let's be honest.
All right.
That was a movie I'm guilty about feeling pleasure for.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
way to describe it.
I think that'll do it for this special episode.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, of the Up Real Late podcast. Yeah.
Do you want to do my Tim's Bits real quick? I got a plan for you.
Surprise.
Let's hear it.
Surprise Tim Bits.
Shocker.
Dropped Tim's Bits.
In
Drop this
honor,
out.
in
Drop
honor
that
of Beast of
bomb.
No Nation, this is a little Idris Elba for you from Pacific Rim. I'm canceling the apocalypse.
Love it.
You can follow us on Twitter at UpRealLates, and you can follow Tim at UpRealTim on Letterboxd.
Wow. Tyler.
Sorry. You can follow us on Facebook at Up Real Late Podcast, as well as you can follow us on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast, as well. You can find me on Twitter at Mogi6, MOGEY6, and Letterboxd eventually at Up Real Ty.
Oh, you better
Where's
get
that
on that.
letterbox dump?
It's
Dump those
coming.
phones,
It's
bud.
coming.
Oh,
You can follow
Adam.
me, Adam, on Twitter at Franey25. That's FRANEY25. Letterboxd to Upreal Adam. Real like a movie reel. Please unfollow Tim after that impression.
For more great impressions.
And you can follow me, Scott, on Twitter at S_Ellis71. You also find me on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, keep it real, guys.